Murtz Jaffer here with another Big Brother Canada eviction interview. I am here with Austin. Austin, how are you feeling?
I'm doing well despite me seeing the doors today.
So I guess, the obvious first question is, what did you think when you found out who the invisible HOH was?
You know what? I thought it was Ty for the longest time. And then I got a gut feeling after a couple conversations with Victoria that it was her. So I wasn't shocked, but obviously it was still a surprise.
Tell me what you thought of Victoria's move. Like, do you think that Victoria targeting you was the right step?
Not at all. I don't think I would have made the same move in a million years. There is a huge threat. There's a power trio in the house. I would have broken them up 100%. So I don't agree with it. I don't know how well it's going to serve her in this game, but we will see.
Victoria denied it to your face several times, which I feel like was basically the only thing she could do in that situation. But do you feel like there was a certain type of malice involved as well? Like the fact that like not only were you put up, not only were you evicted, but this whole like slop fiasco too.
Yeah, it did feel very personal because putting us on slop on the block next to our tight best friend in the game. That's emotional. That's physical. Like it was a lot. And I think that's when it clicked for me as well that it was Victoria because it was an emotional move and she is an emotional player.
Would you have rather been eliminated by an HOH that you could see, by an HOH that you know, rather than the way that it sort of happened with this like whole invisible thing?
It was definitely frustrating not knowing where to point the finger. But I did say that if I'm going to go out on a crazy twist, then I'm okay with that. Clearly, I'm a big threat, so get me out while you can.
I believe this week is going to be remembered for Jed and Ty not being targeted. In your opinion, would it have made the most sense for Victoria to target the two biggest threats in the house? And are those two the biggest threats?
I mean, I think perception-wise are the biggest threats. In terms of comp wins, they don't have that number there, but they are massive physical guys. They have tight loyalty with each other. So I think that's really who should have been targeted this week. I think it was a missed opportunity.
Can you tell me a little bit more just about your relationship with Victoria in the house, just generally? Yeah. You were working together at the beginning, then you began to like drift apart. Did anything happen to sort of prompt that separation?
I really liked Victoria from the get-go, but as a player, she was very volatile. You would tell her something and then you'd hear it from someone else. So you knew that she was kind of flip-flopping all over the house. Having her trust was really tough. I don't know that I trusted that I could 100% go to her with information and not have it blow up in my face. So from there, that distance was kind of created and that's how that rift began.
What do you make of all the duos this season? Did they just naturally happen or did people realize that like, okay, well, man, I'm going to need a partner too because everybody else is doing it?
I mean, I was definitely shocked that we were all in duos. We were saying like, how weird is this? But it kind of organically happened. Like there was almost a best friend in there for everyone and we all found each other and stuck by each other like glue. So
we have to talk about the Roe show. You know, he promised you that he was going to use the veto on you or Braden. Then he went back on his word. What do you think scared him away from using it? Like, obviously, there wasn't even the threat that he's going to be the replacement. So I'll be honest with you, Austin, I don't really understand it. Can you explain it to me?
Honestly, I think he made the wrong move there. He could have had two allies in this game had he used it. I think I would have come off and there was a way to save Braden. Don't think it was the right move. Very disappointed in it. I think he was too scared. He was too scared to make the big move and disappoint people in the house. But I mean, missed opportunity in my opinion.
And scared of what exactly? Scared that like maybe, for example, if another person went up, even if it's not him, that there would be ramifications that he's the one to blame. Like I went up because you used the veto.
Absolutely. I mean, we're at the point in this game where lines need to be drawn and he wasn't willing to do that. In this game, people are going to be mad at you whether you make a big move or not. That's just how it works. So he was too scared to make the big move and draw the line, and hopefully that serves him well going forward.
Do you think that Rohan is a good player or a scared player?
I think this week showed me that he was a scared player. I do see why he made the decision he made. Do I think it's what I would have done? Absolutely not. Yeah, there was a way to save all three of us and he didn't use it. So I don't see where he's going to come back from that in this game.
It's a two-part question now. Who do you blame more for your eviction? Victoria, the invisible HOH, or Rohan, who didn't use the veto?
I think at this point I would blame Rohan just because he had that opportunity. We had talked about it. He promised me up and down. He could have thrown it to me. I was behind him on that puzzle, but he didn't. So that's why I'm sitting here ultimately.
And in the same lines, who are you angrier at, Victoria or Rohan?
I don't know if there's one that I'm angrier at over the other. I mean, I do feel like I was okay with Victoria, and she definitely fully went back on that trust. Obviously, that's why I'm sitting here. And the same thing with Rohan. He was a friend, he was an ally, and he decided not to honor either one of those things. So
we have to talk about you and Kyle. You know, like, speaking of Ro, you can't mention Ro without talking about, like, Kyle. Is there something there? Was flirting a strategy you had heading into the game, or is it something that just, like, naturally happened when you got there?
I mean, I wasn't flirting as a strategy. Kyle was someone that I became super close to. We had deep chats. He was a friend. And obviously I was really upset seeing him go, and sitting next to him was super hard. So, but we're good friends.
Rohan, going back on his word, wasn't the first time someone lied to you in the house.
Yeah.
We already went over Victoria. Then there was also Kiefer, who promised you safety in last week's HOH, but he put you up anyway. Yeah. Why did the Big Brother Canada contestants this season enjoy lying to Austin so much? Like, was this just the theme of the season? Let's just lie to Austin.
That's how it felt. I'm like, guys, I'm having a brutal time. I was HOH. The whole house tried to flip on me. I was told I wasn't going on the block. I went on the block. I was lied to so many times. So it definitely was easy to feel like that's kind of, I was on everyone's agenda, but I don't know why. I think maybe I made myself a big threat early on, and people were scared to come at me. So that's kind of how it all happened.
It's funny. It's funny you say that, because there were times when you almost, like, you came across to me as like the femme fatale in the house. And I thought that was specifically because of how you dominated the competitions. Even in the one that you lost to Kiefer, you were like right there. You were like right at the end of it. You almost had that one too. Do you regret competing as hard as you did?
I don't regret it, because I feel like the whole team's dynamic at the beginning called for it. I don't think I could have changed it and felt safe in the house. I wasn't anticipating being good at comps. I just tried my best. I told myself I wasn't going to throw anything or sell myself short. And the competitive side of me just came out. So I wouldn't have changed it. Did it maybe land me here? Yes, but I enjoyed every second.
I want to know a little bit more about, like, Austin, like, away from the Big Brother Canada house. Like, you know, the perception that I have is, like, let's say you go to, like, I don't know, like pre-pandemic laser tag. I feel like you got to win. I feel like any competition that there is, like, even if it's like checkers at the bar or like whatever, I feel like you have to win. Is that your personality, that you have to win at all costs?
I'm very competitive. I like to win. I like to do well in things. So I feel like I do definitely have that side to me. 100%. 100%.
And how do you want Canada to remember you? You know, obviously you're going to have a lot of fans. Like, when you compete that hard, when you're targeted as many times as you have been, there's a lot of people that are going to be like, oh, we can't wait to see Austin again. You know, like, how do you want Canada to remember you?
You know what? I think in this game, it was important for me to stay true to myself and to fight really hard and never roll over and die. So I would want them to remember me as someone who stayed myself, fought hard, and was a strong competitor. Okay,
now last question for you. And I actually haven't done this yet this season, so I think this is going to be good. But I want you to pretend right now in this moment, that I am Victoria, and you could tell me anything you want to. Like, right now in this instant, what would you tell me? I'm Victoria. Here we go. Invisible HOH right here.
Victoria, you made the wrong move this week. You've landed yourself at the bottom of a totem pole of a very strong alliance. I hope you realize the big mistake that you've made.
Okay, now ready? I'm going to put on a different face. Are you ready?
Okay.
All of a sudden now I am Rohan. You know, what do you have to say? I am Rohan. I just decided not to use the veto. You're gone. What would you tell me now that you're out of the house?
Rohan, I'm very let down as a friend and also as an alliance member. I'm super disappointed, and I truly do think that you've made a big mistake. You had two strong allies in me and Brayden, and you really crumbled that trust that we built.
Can I make one suggestion for something you could add to that?
Absolutely.
Okay. You know what, Rohan? Instead of calling yourself the Ro Show, you should be Ro Go Away.
Love it.
Yeah? Okay. Okay, awesome. Amazing. Well, that was Austin. Austin, thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully our paths will cross again soon.
Hopefully. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.